Today with Lucy Aharish.
Good evening, maybe let's say sad evening, and welcome to the news today. Music legend David Bowie lost his 18-month battle of cancer, dying at the age of 69. Born David Jones, he shot to fame with the 1969's Space Oddity and would go on to become an icon for an entire generation. Shani Nachshoni.
I know when to go out, know when to stay in.
There is a cliché that when a person dies, we should celebrate his life and not mourn his death. And in David Bowie's case, it seems apt. The artist who never stopped creating released a new album just last week on his 69th birthday and left us with a goodbye present.
He was a master of reinvention, and one of the things that's so incredible is almost all his reinventions were incredible successes and worked brilliantly. So we mourn the loss of a great talent. We think about his family and friends who've lost a loved one too early. But I think also we celebrate an immense British talent who has enriched all of our lives.
Black Star is the 25th studio album that sealed a long and colorful career that started in the 60s. Bowie is considered to be a cultural hero and inspired so many artists like Andy Warhol, for example. He made bold fashion statements and questioned his own sexual identity long before it was mainstream to do so.
What I keep from his message, philosophical message, be strong enough to be yourself, you know. And that is a very strong message that was very important for my generation.
Bowie blurred lines between different fields in his personal life as well as in his artistic practice. He wasn't just a singer and an actor. He managed to combine the two into Ziggy Stardust, a tragic character of a rock star from space that he created and considered a peak in his career.
What Bowie did for me was through such amazing music. It was a launch pad for all kinds of ideas in fashion, culture, even philosophical ideas, if you want to go there. The influence he had on people to be themselves, to be their true selves, and to express themselves creatively. You don't often actually get an artist that really engenders that with so many people across so many generations.
During the 70s, like a lot of rock stars, he had a drug addiction and was bested by scandals, while the 80s were more mellow regarding his musical success. Bowie didn't have a specific musical style and kept changing all the time. He went from pop to rock, folk and psychedelic rock, to even soul and electronic music. He also carved out a brief film career, appearing in such movies as The Man Who Fell to Earth, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and even The Last Temptation of Christ.
I'll be back, if aren't flowers again.
After an 18-month battle with cancer, we say goodbye to the man with 1,000 faces, who may have written his own best eulogy. Ashes to ashes, funk to funky, we know Major Tom's a junkie, strung out in heaven's high, hitting an all-time low.
Strung out in heaven's high, hitting an all-time low.
Yes, and with me here in the studio is Akiva Nof, former Israeli parliamentarian and a songwriter who interviewed John Lennon. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming to the studio. And also I-24 News correspondent Shani Nachshoni. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for a lovely report. I will start with you, Mr. Nof. You know, it's amazing. Everybody are saying, all the people who interviewed and who were interviewed today said the same thing. He sent a message of be yourself. The man with 1,000 faces, that changed faces all the time, maybe that never was himself, asked people to be themselves. How come?
No, I think in spite of the nickname they gave him, Chameleon, he wasn't a chameleon. He was a multicultural person that has an autarkic culture of himself. He made everything, from clothes to singing, to music, to acting in plays, in films. He did it all in one man, and it was the same man with full life, of artistic life.
It's amazing because he wasn't only a singer or a songwriter. He was an artist, like you said. He made an impact on fashion, on music, on culture, on art, and even politics. And it's amazing to see that because this generation...
The politics, I am quite a little bit hesitating because he was the one who once said that Hitler was a pop singer or something like that, and he was the one who said that Britain should have the fascist party as a leading party.
When you are singing to the masses and you are saying these things to the masses, you can impact politics.
Yes, but I wouldn't like politics to go to this line.
Yes.
Anyhow, as an artist, and I mean, some artists, on the other side, he gave a concert donating the money for Ethiopian starving children. So he had all of it in one man.
Shanine Afrani, we were today in the morning in another show, and I saw you like running down the hall and saying, "Did you see that? Did you see the person alert? He died. David Bowie died." And I think that nobody expected that. Just a week ago, he
released his new album just a week ago.
He was so alive.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's symbolic that he was involved in creation until his very last moment. And it was really just last week. It's not just a figure of speech of something. He did release his last album. This is what he did in his last days.
Shani, nobody knew that he is sick. Nobody knew that he is actually suffering from cancer.
Even right now, the family is really requesting everybody to keep their privacy and their mourning. So I guess in the last few years, he didn't perform in public, but he did continue to work in the studio on his albums. So he was a private in this manner. I just wanted to say something about the chameleon nickname that you talked about. I think that a chameleon is a creature that changes its own color according to the surface its own. And David Bowie didn't change himself to be like somebody. Yes, he was the one to influence others. He was the pioneer. He was the trendsetter. And when he did something, everybody went after him. I think this is the main thing that I will remember from him.
And it should be noticed that in the beginning, there was a long time that he was a flop, and then was in the middle of his career.
Like all big artists.
but he kept on, and he got up from the ashes, and he became what he became.
Maybe do you think that we will have another, because each and every time that a big artist is leaving us, we're saying, wow, he was one of the big symbols of our generation. Do you think that this generation, young people today, in their 20s, in the teenagers that are watching what they're watching and seeing what they're seeing, and you, from your perspective, do you think that they have any idols, any pop star idols, any rock and roll idols that we can say, they will be sorry that he will be gone one day?
Well, it's repeating itself all the time. The world is full of talents. In our small, tiny country, I always, when I watch these TV competitions of Star Was Born and so on, I said, well, where are they coming from? Again and again and again, and good ones. So I'm optimistic in this sense. But I don't think anyone would be so full of himself and giving from himself. I mean, in Israel, actually, the only one which a little bit resembles him is Tzvika Pik.
Yeah, he was interviewed all over the Israeli media today.
Ah, yeah? Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't hear the video.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in a way, he was going in the same line.
Yeah, the customs, the way that he was singing, the variety of things that he did, I think...
The dressing, the so on.
I think that if we are looking for a successor from nowadays, I know it's not the same, and it's a different person, and it's a different time, but I think I kept thinking about this all day long. Who do we have, our generation? I think the one that is trying to do this multidisciplinary art thing is Lady Gaga, when she tries to affect fashion with the very unique clothing, and she tries to touch a different style of music, but it's not David Bowie.
It's not David Bowie. I think that she got, if she's watching us today, she will tell you, wow, you gave me the biggest compliment you can ever, somebody can ever give me.
Maybe
yes.
I'm not saying, but when she dies, maybe we will speak.
We will speak. Akiva Nov, thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
And also Shani Nachshoni, thank you very much for this. And now
hoping
for...
to be in other programs with live people.
Yes, with people
Not
who are
about
still
dead people.
alive. Let's hope that we will talk about successes and people who are still alive. And